तो एक रील आई थी couple of months back, 6.2 million views है जिसके, talking about how 6 out of 10 of the best selling sunscreens in the Indian market did not meet the SPF 50 claim that was mentioned.
So to start with, I think a lot of consumers do not know कि SPF होता क्या है.
कंज्यूमर को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ना चाहिए, उसको स्टेबल प्रोडक्ट मिलना चाहिए, हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी.
When you see a viral product, what is the first red flag that you spot?
For me, the first red flag is somebody is claiming that आप ये product लगाओ, overnight आपको glass skin हो गई है या overnight आपका acne चला गया है. And that just doesn't happen because there's no free lunch in formulations.
मुझे लगता है नींबू की शक्ति के दिन खत्म होने वाली है.
खत्म होने वाले हैं. Why are some products यूरोप कोरिया में बहुत चलते हैं but इंडिया में फेल होते हैं? Today's episode is a very special one because I have two really inspiring women who sit at the very heart of how beauty products are made. तो आज हम आपको लेके जाएंगे behind the scenes in the beauty industry where labs, formulations, stability tests, and most importantly, the toughest trade-offs happen. Performance versus safety, price versus efficacy, and of course, global trends versus what is possible in India. So joining me today on the Sugar Coated podcast is Sandhya Sakhuja, who's the co-founder of Vedic Cosmeceuticals, one of India's largest manufacturer of skincare, bath and body hair products. In fact, some of your favorite skin hair products Vedic ही बनाता है, and in a first of its kind in the industry, they've also raised 25 crore in venture capital a few years back. And somebody who's really, really special for me, who has spent 12 years in makeup formulations, heads new product development and R&D at Sugar Cosmetics, Mamta Naik. Ladies, I'm really excited because itna shore hai is beauty industry mein, and I want you to literally black and white mein take us behind all that shore to what is real. And just to get started, we'll pick one of the hottest topics right now in the industry. तो एक रील आई थी couple of months back, 6.2 million views हैं जिसके, talking about how 6 out of 10 of the best selling sunscreens in the Indian market did not meet the SPF 50 claim that was mentioned. And ये एक Indian controversy नहीं, globally आज बहुत debates चल रही हैं. Internet is divided on sunscreen, trials, SPF का meaning. तो पहले मैं सुनना चाहूंगी आपका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू क्या है ऑन दिस कंट्रोवर्सी एंड हाउ डू यू थिंक कंज्यूमर्स शुड थिंक अबाउट दिस.
So let me thank you for having me here. I'm usually busy spending my time behind pH meters, viscometers, so this is a refreshing change and also a great opportunity to discuss. So yes, SPF is a hot topic and regulations are now becoming strict around SPF and its claims. So abhi tak SPF testing by most of the brands was done by in vitro method. However, now the regulatories are implementing that we can only claim SPF number after undertaking proper in vivo studies.
I think you'll have to take one more step back and tell us what
Yes.
is in vitro and in vivo.
So, in vitro, in short, is something that tells us that the chemistry of the product is correct. But in vivo is a detailed study on actual human skin in actual conditions to tell us that the product works as per claims. So, it's resource intensive, it's expensive, and time consuming. So, I think in the coming times, in fact, we're already there in January 2026 now. SPF claims will have to get validated by detailed in vivo studies. So many brands will have to relook, reformulate. Another important thing that we as formulators look at when we are creating SPF formulations, which is often missed out, is that SPF value tested on a lab batch vis-a-vis SPF value tested at the end of stability can vary. So it's important to capture the various SPF values through the life cycle because UV filters or the boosters tend to change their habit and their performance over time. So, and I also think it's great that the regulations are getting established because it prepares us for the global markets better. As it is, I think India is manufacturing of skincare in India is roaring. So I think the stricter the claims, the better.
So आप बोल रहे हैं कि now the regulations will be stricter. तो 10th January जो date है उसके बाद whatever sunscreens are manufactured in India, तो हम एक confidence से खरीद सकते हैं कि ये in vivo and in vitro tested होगा.
In vivo, yes. In vitro, all of them may already be.
They already have,
Yeah,
but in vivo भी tested
Yes.
होगा, which is why we can, if we pick up a product जिस पे लिखा है SPF 50 and it's manufactured after 10 Jan, then we can confidently believe that इसमें sun protection
valid.
factor है 50
Yes.
का.
Yes. the
Okay.
claim is
And ये how difficult is it for brands to do this? मतलब ये resistance क्यों था? क्या खर्चा होता है in vivo versus in vitro में?
So typically, an SPF claim in vivo study ranges anywhere between 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs per product.
Okay.
Per SPF claim. So if you're a brand and you have like 5 SPFs or 6 SPFs, different textures, different formulations, all of them have to be tested separately.
And in this test, do they test SPF 50 plus and then SPF 50 and UVA, UVB, PA plus सारा इसमें टेस्ट हो जाता है?
Yes, all of it, all UVA, UVB protection. And the other thing is it's time consuming, anywhere between 4 to 5 weeks.
And इस in vivo test में test क्या होता है actually?
So it's actually application on human skin
Okay.
over a period of time. And it's just to see how the protection is happening on that patch vis-a-vis a patch that's not being tested. So, and then they have their meters to study that.
To study कितना
protection.
redness हुआ
Yes,
in
yeah,
the patch that
yeah.
sunscreen was
Yes,
applied
and
versus
more.
it wasn't applied,
Yeah.
and then they compare it.
They'll compare it, yes.
Okay. So Mamta, organic chemistry के lesson में जाए बिना, if you can just simplify it for our users, कि how should they be buying the right SPF and how should they be sure that they are well protected for the Indian sun?
So to start with, I think a lot of consumers do not know कि SPF होता क्या है. The sun protection factor is what measures कि आपको जब sun exposure होता है, when you step out in the sun, after how much time does your skin lead to sunburns, etc. So usually, just अगर हम simple math करें, तो if you were to step out in the sun and basis on the UV exposure, if your skin starts burning after 10 minutes, you get sunburn. Post SPF 30, it will be 30 times protected. So after 300 minutes.
Got it.
So tentatively around 4 to 5 hours.
Okay.
But because, like Sandhya mentioned, that the UV filters start degrading with the exposure of sun, that's when your reapplication also has to be done. So the effectiveness of the 300 minutes will only be if you reapply it within every 2 hours and you're not sweating or swimming the product off. Usually लोग सोचते हैं कि SPF 30, 50, 100. 50 to 100 is not a very large jump. Usually SPF 15, if you were to just number it out, SPF 15 tentatively gives you 93% protection. SPF 50 would give, SPF 30 would give you 97% protection. SPF then 50 would be 98 and then SPF 100 would be 99, but that will still be slightly lower. So if you see a significant jump is happening from SPF 15 to 30, तो आप अगर 30 को correct volume में consume करोगे, like you reapply, it's more effective than one-time application of SPF 100. So effectiveness point of view, say it's not only the bigger number that's making a lot of difference, it's the right amount of application that makes or breaks on how the product is performing on your real skin.
So ये बहुत interesting है. आप बोल रहे हैं कि SPF 30 to 50 there is just a 1% difference, 97% versus 98% protection. But अगर आप market में देखें तो online जितने sunscreen बिकते हैं उनमें 95% is SPF 50 का sales. SPF 30 लोग खरीदते नहीं है. But what you are saying is that more than obsessing about that one number and obsessing about इसके कैसे ट्रायल हुए हैं, क्योंकि अब 10 जनवरी onwards सब certified in vivo tested ही market में मिलेगा. What we should really be thinking about is thick enough layer है कि नहीं. तो 3 finger 2 finger rule से आपने enough लगाया है. What we should be thinking about is हमने reapply किया every 2 hours. and not get bogged down by this controversy and इतने सारे viral videos जो बता रहे हैं कि इसमें इतना SPF है उसमें इतना SPF है, because बहुत ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ता है SPF 30 versus 50 अगर आपने right amount लगाया.
Correct. And also the application matters. Like usually how we see consumers using only like required 1 teaspoon hota hai
हाँ.
of for your full face with your neck etc. That is giving enough protection to your face, which is tentatively what, around more than an ml
Yes.
of product per usage. But if you see consumers using the product, they use, if in case it's more aware consumers, evolved consumers, they end up using half of at least what's required, and most of the audience uses 1/4. So technically आप जो SPF 50 लगा रहे हो वो हो गया SPF 7 if you're like wearing
Using less
1/4 of the
amount.
product.
And in vivo test में भी वो लोग बहुत thick layer लगाते हैं.
Yes.
Yes,
And
that's
it's
where
also
education comes in as well for the consumer, because usually the perception is the stronger SPF, the
more
better,
protection.
the more protection,
Mm.
right? And the usage protocol is also defined during the in vivo testing. How to use, how often to use, how much to use. So these protocols also help in assessing the claim or validating the right SPF claim.
And if I were to do like a simple number work for consumer, तो 50 ग्राम 50 ml के most sunscreens होते हैं और आप बोल रहे हो कि हर एप्लीकेशन में आपको 1 ml लगाना है, तो even if you're applying once a day and only on your face and neck, body के लिए अलग आपकी ट्यूब है, तो भी आपको 1.5 महीने में आपका सनस्क्रीन खत्म होना चाहिए. तो अगर आप हर 1.5 महीने में नया सनस्क्रीन का ट्यूब नहीं खरीद रहे हो, मतलब आप कम लगा रहे हो. Is that like a good way to check whether you are putting enough?
Yeah.
And do you think कोई difference है in the chemical versus mineral and the amount of protection it gives you?
So usually for sweat resistant, we have to use the mineral sunscreen because of coverage, and for water resistance. And otherwise, yes, a chemical base works. But nowadays, what's popular is a hybrid with both mineral and chemical formula. Because when we're using a mineral formula, not having a white cast
Impossible.
is difficult. Very
So is
difficult.
it good enough to use chemical sunscreen for Indian weather?
Yes.
अगर white cast आती ही है mineral में, तो chemical या hybrid use करें,
Yes.
तो is the protection enough for
Yes.
Indian weather?
Yes, if your in vivo study says that
SPF
the combination of the UV
UV
filter
filters.
and the UV booster
Hmm.
has gone in the right percentage
Hmm.
and is giving the right protection. It's good enough.
Yeah. To add to that, because Sandhya mentioned about specifically UV filter and UV booster, individual UV filter can break down, especially in the chemical version, very fast. Like immediate exposure can disrupt the overall formula as soon as, even if it's created and filled. So the boosters make much more relevance here when it comes to the chemical filter. So while it can be used consistently, it's very important that the supporting ingredients are like doing the job of ensuring that the filters don't break down. And of course, the hybrid formula does make much more sense to have that balance of no white cast.
So again, I want to simplify it because लोगों को इतनी organic chemistry नहीं सीखनी है. तो क्या देखें हम to know कि इसमें correct boosters है, correct filters है. हम sunscreen जब खरीदें, what should we check at the back of the pack? What should we check at the front of the pack? Just to simplify things.
So, considering the new regulation, I think it will be important for brands to educate the consumer about in vivo studies a little. Maybe when you are putting up the product, on your website, you do put up the in vivo results and share with the customer, with the consumer, that these are now validated with thorough study. And I think over time, education is what's going to help a consumer identify, because really the in vivo studies are not going to change the ingredient list at the back. They're not going to, maybe on the pack there can be a claim, SPF 50 in vivo, after in vivo study. But there's no change as such you're going to make to the ingredient list. So I don't think that the consumer will have an advantage to see, this ingredient has changed and I should buy this one. It's going to be more about that the claim has been substantiated after thorough in vivo testing.
So there are no wrong
So it's like, dermatologically tested. So we know it could be another mnemonic on the pack to say in vivo tested.
So talking about mnemonics, I think अगर अभी हम most products उठा के देखें तो ऐसा लगता है कि दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी के बोर्ड कट ऑफ्स लिखे हैं, बिकॉज एवरीथिंग इज लाइक 97%, 99% this, 92% consumers felt that. And I want to understand, as a manufacturer and as somebody who asks for a lot of these trials to be done, इसमें क्या marketing है और क्या सच है, और मतलब how do these trials happen, and how as a consumer do I know कि ये बस एक very like this trial actually is relevant for me, or is this just a percentage that is claimed on the pack to sell the product?
So nowadays there are claims that are based on in three ways. One, where an informal study is done by a brand. Say, for example, you have 30 girls in the office and you've run a user test on them, and their feedback. Somebody says, "Hi, I feel मेरा skin glow किया, मेरा skin glow किया." So we write there saying 90% felt better, brighter, right? Then there is ingredient-led claim these days, where studies have been established that if you use a certain ingredient at an X%, you will see Y result, right? So as formulators, those studies substantiate well for us, and we add them to the product and give you let the brands make that claim. The third is a structured scientific study, which I think is rare, right? I think largely it's being undertaken by the larger brands who can actually afford it. Now, that's a very structured scientific study where a usage protocol is defined, a user group is defined, and this is usually outsourced to an NABL accredited lab for clinical research. Now, they'll typically identify a user group based on the skin type we're looking to study, based on the climatic conditions we're looking to study the product under, right? Then this user group is exposed for a period of 4 to 8 weeks to assess the impact of the product, and observations are collected. This could be done through another structured questionnaire or even through instrument testing, whatever the case may be.
So the best is जो scientific study होती है, because वो pharma की तरह है. It's like a double blind trial, and जो measurement है वो आपके जो आप feel कर रहे हो उसको measure नहीं कर रहे हैं स्पेक्ट्रोमीटर पे या फिर device which actually visible changes देख रहे हैं. So that is the most scientific study. And आपके experience में इंडिया में 100 में से कितने products में ऐसी scientific study की गई होती है? सच बताइए, मतलब 0 में तो 0, 1 तो 1.
I still feel the legacy brands definitely will not make a tall claim without doing these studies. But in the recent past, or in the past few years, we've seen that. So these studies are done, especially when we're looking at hair, right? When we say hair growth 2x, right? It's not done on a single product, it's done as a regime, right? So I would think maybe 5%.
So India में 100 में से 5-6 products हैं जिनमें ये proper pharma grade scientific study हो रही है to substantiate के पैक पे जो लिखा जा रहा है. बाकी 95% में नहीं हो रही. So what do you think, ममता, इसका future क्या है? Brands कैसे इसमें authenticity ला पाएंगे so that consumers can trust these trials?
I think the feedback which Sandhya was telling was there's one informal as well as the controlled group. So outside, if we're doing external agency test as well, where you have consumer perception trials, those consumer perception trials will give you on how they feel about the product, but these are still relevant because these are controlled subjects. Like if I am doing an acne product trial, I've selected the 50 consumers who are falling in that range of skin type requirement where I am doing concern mapping. Whereas in a normal environment, if I'm doing it in office, it will just be very scattered. So agency tests like this.
So you are saying कि वो जो informal है, जो संध्या informal जिसको बोल रहे हैं, उसको तो बिल्कुल बैन कर देना चाहिए because उसका कोई relevance नहीं है.
Correct.
उसका एक थोड़ा better form है जहाँ at least external agency एक specific controlled environment में लोगों पे ये test करती है, and they may not measure it on a spectrometer, but they can still ask the feedback which is still better indicator of the product performance.
Yes, for consumers, where marketing blurs lines is जहाँ पे perception का communication comes across as clinical. Like, because perception studies can never go as questions on did your skin feel 2x hydrated, because there's no measurement. It can only feel, okay, I felt hydrated. That's how you do an average number. If I'm giving it to 50 consumers, if 45 felt that for their skin is hydrated, and they have to also rate it. Controlled environment protocol is still relevant. It is not the most objective when it comes to how much did my skin feel hydrated. So for that you use your corneometer, etc., wherein you see how much hydration has your skin without product and with product changed. So self-assessment will be what your skin feels. There is expert assessment, which how the experts will see it. That's still a more human-led, because you have dermat checking it still visually by the eyes. It's not machine-driven. And the third most important and relevant would be where it's done by machine, that it's showing changes in your skin. So for consumers to see that this will work is only if it's clinically proven via instrument testing and not self-assessment, because that also is control study, but it still falls under rank 3 if we were to rank it.
Okay, and control studies में placebo होता है, like double blind होता है कि आप बता रहे हो कि इससे आपको hydrated लगा, आपको एक placebo भी मिल रहा है जिससे आप compare कर पाओ, because कई बार लोग एक placebo effect होता है कि कुछ भी लगाया बोलते हैं हाँ मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है.
Yeah. Though, so there also brands can select how extensive they want to go with respect to the test. If you want to go controlled subject, only your product to see a before and after, you can do that. You can do a blind by knowing where you're giving the placebo and your product. Or the third one is complete blind, where you also get to know the result after it. So you can choose as a brand on how deep you want to go with respect to the results by knowing how the product will work. But all three will work.
So clinical research is a vast subject itself. And like Mamta said, as a brand, you have to know what your objective is and what is the product truly claiming and what do you want to substantiate. So that's how you can actually go with a very well-defined objective study. Otherwise, it is an expensive proposition. It's a very expensive proposition again. And it's vast.
And ये clinical studies में generally कितना खर्चा होता है कि इतना rarely 5% only किसमें हो रहा है?
So it really depends on, again,
approximate like range.
Anything again, I think between 2 lakhs to 10 lakhs.
2 lakhs to 10 lakhs.
Yes, again depending on the user group size. So usually it's 30 to 100, but if you say that I'm going to use 50 or 30, the cost comes down. It also depends how many subjects are you studying
on. Animal trials are completely banned, right, in India?
Yes.
तो कोई भी ब्रांड चाहे तो भी वो एनिमल ट्रायल्स नहीं कर सकती है, एंड सो बाय डिफॉल्ट रेगुलेशन इंश्योर्स कि इंडिया में सारे ब्रांड्स क्रुएल्टी फ्री है.
Yes.
And ये human trial allowed है but animal trial नहीं allowed है, ऐसा क्यों? Is it because the conditions in which the animals were kept was really bad?
And I'm not sure whether really ever FG testing has happened on animals, right? So raw material testings happened on animals, but I'm not sure if finished good testing. I mean, I've been in the industry for over 2 decades now, and I've never seen animal testing of a cream or a lotion really happen. Also, I think animal skin will perform differently to human skin. Our pH requirements are different. So whenever we're doing a finished good testing, which is a complete formula in itself, it's not on animals. I don't think I've known of this happening.
No, because again, cruelty free इतना बड़ा एक marketing angle की तरह use होता है, but आप बोल रहे हैं सारे brands cruelty free.
So cruelty free is also for sourcing from the right ends, right? Because importantly, that wherever you're sourcing your active ingredients and your raw material from,
you know that they are also testing.
It has to know. You have to know your supply chain, and because any formula is a combination of 15 to 20 ingredients. So cruelty free not necessarily means that the final product is not tested. It should also mean that none of the raw materials procured are tested, have been tested on animals. So that's truly cruelty free.
Got it. And जब आप Instagram पे देखते हैं बहुत सारा content है आज की तारीख में beauty as a category पे, and I think beauty influencers की like is the most profitable influencing career. What is the, like, when you see a viral product, what is the first red flag that you spot as a person who's behind the scenes? Mamta is already laughing. She has an answer.
For me, it's like one product does everything in the world.
Ah,
It's like it does exfoliation, it reduces acne, and with so much extensive exfoliation and acne reduction and clarifying
it is also
ingredients,
moisturizing.
it's also moisturizing and barrier repair. So at the other end, I was like, हमारा skin universally कब से behave करने लग गया that everything is happening with this one God sent
Magic.
product, wherein it's just कि आप इसे लगा लो and it's going to remove everything in like 6 hours to like 6 weeks. Within that as well, because everybody's skin performs in a different way. For me, the first red flag is somebody is claiming that overnight मुझे कुछ like आप ये product लगाओ, overnight आपको glass skin हो गई है, या overnight आपका acne चला गया है. And that just doesn't happen because my skin will behave very differently from that of you as well as even Sandhya. So even at the same formula we three are applying, it will never take the same amount of time to even clarify if we all have acne. But this one product is suddenly doing everything. So for me, it's like, okay, that's not happening.
So there are no magic potions and there is no overnight like treatment that can magically erase all your fine lines and acne.
Never, never.
You see videos and they put a little bit of cream and then this patch becomes like
White.
and you're
Clean
like
shade
Lighter.
and you're like 3 minutes mein Maggi noodle hai. You know, it's literally like that. So typically when I see something like that, my first instinct is to order karo. Mangate hain. Dekhte hain kya. Right? So like Mamta said, there are no instant cures really. And I think there should be responsibility on brands and influencers to kind of work on correct communication because it does set unrealistic expectations. And then also the pressure on formulators to create, देखो उस brand ने launch किया, उसका 3 minute में glow कर रहा है. So absolutely nothing works instantaneously in skincare or even hair. Nothing works instantaneously. So whenever you see something that's like glow in 3 days or glass skin in 3 days, or even certain claims like SPF derived from plants, you're like, oh, plants don't have UV filters. And even if certain oils have the UV filter property, it's not quantifiable. So by adding, any plant extract, you can't make a claim of SPF 50 or 30. So some of these claims kind of tend to get my attention. How are the brands even making these claims?
And in one sentence, what part of formulations do you think consumers wildly underestimate करते हैं?
So, मेरे लिए consumer is my customer, right? Is the brand. So before consumer उसको underestimate करते हैं, मुझे लगता है brands उसको underestimate करते हैं. That's stability. Stability of the product is the core of product integrity. And I think brands' expectations, आज brief आया, कल sample, परसों batch, is unreal. And I think stability, because stability defines the texture. And in the
stability
long run,
क्या होता है and कितना time लगता है test करने?
So stability is largely done to make sure that the product performs consistently through its shelf life, right? Theoretically, 3 months, a number of months multiplied by 4 gives you your shelf life. So if you've done a 3-month study, your product should be good for 12 months.
And most products India में तो actually 3 years के हैं.
हाँ.
तो आप बोल रहे हो कि at least 7-8 महीने की
9
stability
months,
होनी चाहिए.
minimum 9 months. So stability is typically done at various temperatures where the product is exposed to 45 degrees, 50 degrees, 5 degrees for a length of time to see its behavior. Whether did the texture separate, did it change color, do I see an odor difference? Because batch after batch, you have to give consistent product, right? So I think I think when a consumer is buying a product, they assume that what I'm getting is a stable product. But I think here, for me, it's my customer who needs to understand that stability is absolutely crucial for product integrity.
Hmm.
So we'll feel
And
the
you
we'll
think that
feel-
brands को इसमें भी मैगी नूडल्स चाहिए क्योंकि वो देखते हैं कि ग्लोबली कुछ ट्रेंड आ गया, वो उन्हें 3 महीने में लॉन्च करना है, तो इसलिए वो बोलते हैं कि आप मत करो, स्टेबिलिटी ऐसी दे दो,
I've had some brands say बेच दो रास्ते में हो जाएगी.
रास्ते में हो जाएगी.
So but I mean somewhere skincare is becoming a bit like fast fashion,
Hmm.
right? The trends are changing so quick. And I always give this example. The
आज
trends-
पूजा कल दूजा.
this trends are changing so quick that I don't think brands are wrong in saying they can't wait. Also, with the onset of D2C, we've learned to launch and test on consumer directly. What works lasts. What doesn't work is removed. So I think yes, stability is absolutely crucial, but we're also relearning on how to get the product to market without really having to live that time period of stability. Can't work
But consumer
responsibly.
का क्या? How does the consumer make out कि ये टेस्ट हुआ है, टेस्टेड है thoroughly, stability
Con-
टेस्टेड की नहीं है?
कंज्यूमर को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ना चाहिए, उसको स्टेबल प्रोडक्ट मिलना चाहिए, ये हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है.
Correct. So
सो ये ब्रांड की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि वो हमसे रिपोर्ट्स मांगे, बोले दिखाओ दैट क्या चेंजेस है. And we work with brands where we have not launched till 2 years because we didn't complete stability. The other way to do things is that, so at Vedic we have a huge formula bank, right? We've been in the industry for
so
over
then
2 decades.
off the shelf formula.
Off the shelf formula where our confidence is high, right? Especially when we talk about categories like body wash, unless we're recreating something from start. So we can really tap into a bank and make quick changes. It's also our level of confidence that the brand buys into. You can tell me, Sandhya, I want to launch, and you will go with my confidence, right? So we do maneuver around it, but largely yes. Stability is the responsibility of product formulators and manufacturers like us, shared with the brand.
But do you say no to brands? Like अगर कोई brand आपको बोल रहा है कि मुझे निकालना है stability test में, और अगर आप मुझे नहीं करके दोगे तो मैं दूसरे manufacturer के पास चला जाऊंगा, तो आपको कैसे आप no बोलते हो?
We strictly follow kill switch. Not stable, not going to the market. Because honestly, it will be my liability. My name is on the back of the pack. And it is my responsibility. It is the manufacturer's responsibility. Any product question is manufacturer's responsibility, whether we like it or we don't like it. It is especially if it's formulated by us. So often brands also have their formulations. And our first question is, has this been tested? Have you researched it? Has it been through its stability tests? If not, then we collaboratively do it. Totally discourage launching product without stability. Totally discourage.
ममता, how do you handle the pressure of marketing team कि ये trend आ रहा है, अभी launch करना है, but stability का time नहीं है?
It's when it comes to liability, it's a discussion on who takes the responsibility if something tanks or if something goes to the market and then is a problem. तो इसकी responsibility कौन लेने वाला है? हम भी manufacturers के पास अगर जाते हैं and हम पूछते हैं कि इसे हम कितने जल्दी कर सकते हैं, because marketing team will see the trend. वो आएंगे हमें पूछने के लिए कि हमें चाहिए that the product again will control oil for 24 hours, still gives full coverage, but still is lightweight and will also work for like 36 hours. For me, I think it's biologically and technically not being honest to the consumer, because ये product नहीं कर पाता है. So when you do end up you want to stick to what your brand stands for. Are you one of those brands who work with manufacturers and are like okay to bypass the process, or you go back to the marketing team and tell ki as a question, because direct no nahi bolna chahiye, because it helps them understand also what's the realistic and a non-realistic approach. Realistically कि हम अगर ये करेंगे तो then आपका option A है that you get a clear claimed product with what the product can perform, and we're being honest to the consumer so that जब consumer को वो product मिले, it's matching what we're claiming, that the product keeps your skin hydrated for X hours or lasts for X hours. You there's no free lunch in formulations. So it has to be either or at least something has to be ranked first. अब वो हमें एज अ ब्रांड कोलैबोरेटिवली डिसाइड करना होता है विद द टीम्स कि हम क्या क्लेम करेंगे. विल इट बी गुड फॉर योर स्किन where it will control the oil, or will it be light on your skin, or will it give, what is the trade-off? Is it light on your skin? Is it coverage? Or the third would be XRs. So it's easier to go to the marketing team and tell that boss ये सारे claims नहीं हो पाएंगे, but what I can give you realistically and technically is these set. अब इसमें अगर हम ये follow करते हैं तो then we will be on the good side. If not, and consumer को हमने over बताया है claim and product नहीं expectations को match कर रहा है, that's when we will get the backlash from the consumers where the trust is at question. So I think it's easier then because they see pros and cons when it comes to the question कि हमें क्या important है. consumers का trust important है because हमें repeat चाहिए basis on product performance. So that's how you end up solving when you have unrealistic asks कि हमें 5 चीजें चाहिए जो प्रोडक्ट नहीं कर पाएगा एक साथ, एटलीस्ट रैंक करके.
Got it. And I think thanks to social media influencers, अब कंज्यूमर समझ गए हैं कि फ्रंट ऑफ द पैक पे जो लिखा है वो मार्केटिंग है, पीछे पढ़ो इंग्रेडिएंट्स में प्रोडक्ट में क्या है. ये भी समझ गए हैं कि इंग्रेडिएंट्स हमेशा डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर में होते हैं, तो जो पहले 3 4 5 इंग्रेडिएंट्स हैं उनकी कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ज़्यादा है. पर फिर भी 2 ब्रांड्स के 2 प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, सेम हीरो इंग्रेडिएंट, वो इतने अलग परफॉर्मेंस में कैसे निकलते हैं?
So, important thing is to know that same ingredients can be sourced from very different points, right? So, and the dosages, right? So, when we're making a product, or when we see 2 products having similar ingredients or same ingredients, important thing is to first see dosages. Secondly, let's take an example of hyaluronic acid, right? Hyaluronic acid का जो molecule है वो various sizes में available है, right? But पीछे तो वो hyaluronic acid ही लिखा होगा. Now, whether you have used the lower molecule weight or the high molecule weight, high molecule HA is cheaper, doesn't penetrate the best, but low molecule weight HA is expensive and has better penetration. So mechanism दोनों का क्या है is completely different. That is why in some cases, again, the back panel is only going to show hyaluronic acid or sodium hyaluronate, right? But you'll never know unless you experience the product that which is work better. So पीछे की लिस्ट है वो INCI listing होती है, right? But there is a different trade name to many ingredients. And according to regulatory, we are meant to give the INCI listings. So the trade name can be different, which means that I may be sourcing my hyaluronic acid from someone else and brand B may be sourcing it from someone else. The purity also is a question mark, which is why when we formulate, I think dose honesty and source are very, very crucial.
So आप बोल रहे हैं कि अगर 1% hyaluronic acid के 2 products हैं, तो even if they both have 1%, because of the purity of the hyaluronic acid, कहाँ से वो source हुई है, उसका molecular weight कितना है, penetrate कितना करेगा, and then of course वो formulation कैसा है, उसकी performance can be completely different.
Totally.
So again, how is the consumer going to figure this out? Because अभी अगर हम label पढ़ना सीख गए, but label is also not enough. So then where do we solve this?
So which is why when I hear some influencers who actually, bring the back label, talk about the back panel and are discussing ingredients, देखो इसमें vitamin C कितना थोड़ा है, and brand इसको vitamin C कह के बेच रहा है, but उसमें थोड़ी ही मात्रा चाहिए. The problem is that there is little information, which is worse than no information, right? So you tend to make up things which you're misinformed, and then the customers or the consumer or the followers tend to follow you, believe what you're speaking. Of course, there's a bit of education that has to happen from the brand's side, but I think a lot of it will depend on experience. Remember, repeatability of the product is your winner, right? So I usually see brands getting hungry for reach, right? Instagram followers. I think we should start measuring the success in its repeatability of the product, right? Because I think that's where the true essence of a product lies. So coming back to your point of how will a consumer know? A consumer will know after using it. It's a stark difference.
In how many days?
5 days, 4 days.
Because पूरी
Because-
skin renew होने में तो
because-
28 days
No, but because you'll start feeling the suppleness the next morning you wake up with low molecule HA, right? If you're using the right concentration of ceramides. Now, ceramides are a complex, right? There is, it's a combination of 3, 2, but we just write ceramide AP, NP, OP. Consumer does not know.
Ceramides
There are
are help in barrier repair.
Barrier
Yeah.
repair, right? So a consumer is not going to know so much. The consumer is ultimately going to go with what they experience, what they feel better with, what's working for them. So again, for example, acne, right? There's niacinamide, there's salicylic acid, has a 2% dose gone in because really 2% dose of salicylic acid helps with acne. So if my problem of acne is solved with what I'm using, I'm a happy consumer. At the end of the day, does really the back panel matter to me? Maybe little, but I think, at the end of the day, results matter. Did I enjoy it? Did it help me? Did it work for me? That's important, and I think we have to convince the consumer.
Are you seeing this? Like आप launch कर रहे हो, आपके 2 product आपने बनाए, एक आपने बनाया really good quality pure source का hyaluronic acid 1%, एक बनाया high molecular weight का 1% cheaper quality. एक मार्केट में बिक रहा है 500 रुपए का, दूसरा मार्केट में बिक रहा है 1500 रुपए का. अब आप देखते हो कि रिपीट 1500 वाले की ज्यादा है कि वो 500 वाला, बिकॉज इंडिया में अफोर्डेबिलिटी एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है, वो ही ज्यादा बिकता है. तो मतलब इज दिस, आर यू सीइंग, आपने जो मेहनत की इन बेटर फॉर्मुलेशंस, इज इट रिजल्टिंग इन बेटर रिपीट्स और इज दैट जस्ट होप?
So again, the consumer base for a 500 vis-a-vis a 1500 is quite different, right?
Yeah.
I think the sheer market size for a 500 is much larger than for the 1500. Definitely repeatability on good actives is something that we witness. And I think it's not new. We've been witnessing repeatability since years now.
एंड
So-
रिपीट नॉट बेस्ड ऑन किसने कितना परसेंट क्लेम किया है एंड कितना एक्टिव्स क्लेम किया ऑन पैक, बट रिपीट बेस्ड ऑन उसकी
Experience.
प्योरिटी क्या थी, उसका परफॉर्मेंस क्या थी.
Yeah, performance, uska experience,
Hmm.
right? So I think that definitely matters. That ultimately, did the user enjoy the experience? Was the sensory good? Did it leave them feeling? Did it leave the skin feeling supple next morning? Right. So I think that definitely matters. Definitely.
तो अगर मैं एक 28-year-old वुमन हूँ जिसको एक्ने है, जिसको स्कार्स हैं, जिसको अर्ली साइंस ऑफ एजिंग है, क्या मुझे 400 रुपए में एक सीरम मिल सकता है जो एफिकेशियस हो, सेफ हो एंड ऑफ कोर्स अफोर्डेबल हो?
Acne के लिए मिल सकता है.
एजिंग के लिए नहीं मिल सकता,
Aging tough.
because retinol and hyaluronic are expensive.
Peptides.
रेटिनॉल,
Retinol,
पेप्टाइड,
yes.
हाइलुरोनिक एक्सपेंसिव है अगर आप हाई ग्रेड यूज
Yes.
करो, बट सैलिसिलिक एसिड, नाइसिनामाइड अफोर्डेबल है.
Affordable.
तो इसलिए एक्ने आप सॉल्व कर सकते हो 400-500 रुपए में, बट अनलाइकली है रियल एंटी एजिंग बेनिफिट्स आपको मिल सकते हैं.
Yes.
एंड यू आर एज अ कंज्यूमर, इफ यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड एनीथिंग, यू आर बेटर ऑफ स्पेंडिंग अ लिटिल मोर.
Yes, absolutely. And serums also carry a certain potent concentration. So that's why also serums are
Do you agree,
expensive.
Mamta?
I do, because effectiveness is what is like more important. If it shows results and ingredients, like you know that okay, ceramide X batch of product X kg is at a price which will not fit in the 400 rupee price point, but a salicylic acid which will be effective at 0.5% can work. So I think it's more concern driven. And if it's concern driven and shows results, the price point can be managed depending on the ingredients and what you're claiming. If you're claiming something that's going to take time and you're not adding the product ingredient at a very effective dosage that it will show results in 3 weeks, then of course you balance the cost. So वो trade off कि अगर मेरे पास लिमिटेशन ही है कि मुझे 400 में करना है, तो द ट्रेड ऑफ इज द एफिकेसी, लाइक संध्या mentioned, and the effectiveness. अब वो compromise होगा, but when you end up like looking for consumers who are coming because skincare में loyalty इतनी ज़्यादा है, so you want to give the consumer the same product at 600, but something that shows results rather than trying to fit in a formula जो 400 में बैठे. So I think the consumer will end up paying 600 because उन्हें result दिख रहा है as opposed to getting a substandard product जिसमें result नहीं दिख.
So I know जब R&D products बनाता है तो 15-20 ingredients को correctly formulate करना, encapsulate करना बहुत साइंस जाता है, पर marketing को चाहिए हमें एक hero ingredient चाहिए जिसके basis पे हम इस product को बनाएंगे. So what is that one ingredient that looks very fancy but does nothing for Indian skin?
Gold.
Golden product.
Golden product.
मतलब it's useless.
Yeah. मेरे हिसाब से it looks very fancy and obviously gold is also synonymous with luxury. So लोग उसको खरीदना चाहते हैं और उनको लगता है गोल्ड लगा के स्किन सुनहरा हो जाएगा, सोने जैसा ग्लो करेगा, but
कुछ नहीं होता है, it just gets washed down.
It is. और महंगा भी तो बहुत है अगर आप really pure gold लगाएंगे. So gold is usually mica. So gold in my opinion.
For me, I think any kind of botanical extract, I think वो added
botanical extract.
Yes, so you have like tons and tons of different very luxuriously sounding flower extract coming from some island or some location, but it's only in like a fairy dust concentration. It just doesn't do anything. It's only to make the product sound very cool. I think effectiveness point of view say it doesn't.
You
do
agree
much.
with that?
Yes, feel good factor.
What are these 3-4 botanical extracts जो लोग मांगते हैं जो बिल्कुल useless?
Horse tail extract हो गया.
हाँ.
Right. So actually वो कोई भी extract हो, वो it could well be neem extract also. It could well be aloe vera हो गया. कहाँ से sourced है, कितना जा रहा है.
And जो वो बिल्कुल लास्ट में 5-6 लिखे होते हैं उनका तो इतना डोसेज भी कम है that it's hardly making any difference to your formulation.
वो label feel good है. Label look good.
Just crowding the overall ingredients list with one camellia extract, one sunflower extract, and it's just adding to the ingredients list ki oh I have like 60 skincare ingredients. It's just increasing the number, but it's actually not doing anything from an effectiveness point of view.
So you both don't believe in botanical extract cocktails.
Rightly said.
All right. So and why are some products Europe, Korea में बहुत चलते हैं, but India में फेल हो जाते हैं?
So पहले तो मेरे ख्याल वो अपने प्राइस पॉइंट पे ही फेल हो जाते हैं, right?
500 रुपए हमारा बैरियर है. 500 से ऊपर किया मतलब we are only able to sell to 1% of the market. It's a real problem because आप per capita देखो तो इंडिया में $12 है, US में $300 है the spend on beauty per annum. तो और ये $12 $8 था 4-5 साल पहले, तो अब है ही हमारी लिमिटेशन.
तो पहले तो वो प्राइस पॉइंट पे ही फेल हो जाते हैं. सेकेंडली क्लियरली हमारा जो लाइफस्टाइल है वो बहुत डिफरेंट है. स्किन केयर या हेयर केयर कभी आइसोलेशन में वर्क नहीं करेगा. वो हमारे एनवायरनमेंट, हमारे लाइफस्टाइल, हमारे फूड हैबिट्स पे भी बहुत डिपेंड करता है, जो यूरोप और कोरिया से बहुत अलग है.
एंड पोल्यूशन, AQI,
तो वो तो हमारा इट्स इनहेरेंट टू आवर एनवायरनमेंट राइट नाउ. तो आई थिंक इसीलिए प्रोडक्ट्स फेल करते हैं. और कुछ टेक्सचर्स भी ऐसे हैं जो इंडियन स्किन के लिए स्पेशली क्रिएट होने चाहिए, जहाँ हैवीनेस नहीं है. इंडियन स्किन बिकॉज ऑफ ह्यूमिड क्लाइमेट एंड हीट टेंड्स टू हैव बी मोर ऑयली, सो इसीलिए भी प्रोडक्ट्स फेल करते हैं. बट इन माय ओपिनियन लार्जली प्राइस पॉइंट्स एंड आवर एक्सटर्नल एनवायरनमेंट लाइफस्टाइल.
Because optimization is done for their environment, so the pollution level, even the sebum pattern, right? Plus here we're a very melanin rich country, so wahan pe usually product development as well as the testing happens on lighter phototypes. So there rarely you would see them testing the products on deeper melanin rich complexion. So lighter phototypes versus India is going to result very different, as well as like even water. We're talking about pollution, etc.
Hard water.
Hard water here. Hard water, melanin rich, complexion, acne prone skin, etc. All of that are going to factor in. So the whole nice, smooth feeling texture of someone using the product in Korea or Paris would be very different to someone using here in India, in a part of Chennai. So it will be very different. So that difference one should also factor in, and the effectiveness then according to that changes. That if they are telling it's going to result into your skin clearing in 2 weeks, in India, even if it will work on a certain set of people, it will take a larger time. So because it's not optimized for the environment itself.
So 1,000 रुपए 2,000 रुपए imported products पे खर्च करने के पहले ये check करना चाहिए whether it is meant for this pollution, this hard water and the melanin in our skin.
Very important.
And कौन सी प्राइसिंग प्रेशर की इतनी बात कर रहे हैं कि अफोर्डेबिलिटी इज अ कंसर्न, तो एक आध ट्रेड ऑफ बताएंगे जो आपने फॉर्मूला में किया जस्ट सो दैट इंडिया में अफोर्डेबिलिटी कॉम्प्रोमाइज ना करनी पड़े?
For me, I think the first approach will not be changing the formula but changing the packaging.
So packaging को थोड़ा cheaper कर दो
yes,
to meet the price वो, but formula को keep it high end.
Yes, like if I were to give a product reference, we have a priming moisturizer in our portfolio. As much as I would like this nice airless pump, I had to sacrifice that for keeping the cost under control for the consumers, because then the cost shoots up by a few $100. So I had the product, when you squeeze out, it comes across as like a milky white cream, and जब आप उसे blend करते हो तो it disperses into water droplets, and it feels like you're applying एक nice layer of water hydrated product. अब वो प्रोडक्ट मैं चाहती हूँ कि एक ऐसे पैकेजिंग में आए जो दिखे भी उतना सेंसोरियल, वरना वो इंग्रेडिएंट दिखता भी अच्छा एंड देन इट वुड हैव बीन मच मोर बेटर. बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू परफॉर्मेंस, इफेक्टिवनेस, डोजेज वर्सेस लाइक पैकेजिंग एंड सेंसोरियल, यू वुड ऑलवेज रैंक द इफेक्टिवनेस पहले. इफेक्टिवनेस को आप पूरी तरीके से रखोगे एंड देन उसके बाद आप पैकेजिंग में कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर सकते हो, एटलीस्ट एज व्हाट वी स्टैंड एज अ ब्रांड.
सो ब्यूटी पैकेजिंग एक्चुअली काफी महंगी होती है एंड जो दिखता है वो बिकता है, तो ये ट्रेड ऑफ आप कैसे हैंडल करते हो और आप क्या कॉम्प्रोमाइजेस करते हो?
ब्यूटी पैकेजिंग इज अ चैलेंज. पहले तो मुझे लगता है कि इंडिया में वो क्वालिटी ऑफ पैकेजिंग इज डिफिकल्ट टू गेट. मोस्ट ऑफ द ब्रांड्स आर नाउ also going to China to source packaging. But packaging definitely helps to deliver the experience. So अगर हमने बहुत अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बनाया है तो मेरे हिसाब से उसकी पैकेजिंग उतनी ही अच्छी होनी चाहिए जो will पहले उसको पिक मी अप एक्साइटमेंट है. जब अच्छी पैकेजिंग से और ही अच्छा प्रोडक्ट निकलता है तो उसका एक कंप्लीट एक्सपीरियंस है.
एंड मोस्ट इन्फ्लुएंसर सबसे पहले तो पैकेजिंग पे ही कमेंट करते हैं.
कोई भी कंज्यूमर, आप शेल्फ पे आप कोई चीज देखते हैं और वो आपको अच्छी लगती है, आपका पहला पॉइंट इज टू पिक इट अप.
तो आप क्या पेनफुल कॉम्प्रोमाइज करती हैं टू मैनेज द बजट जो आपको दिया गया है? When you want the packaging to be good, you want the efficacy to be good, you want the right source of ingredients, तो क्या कॉम्प्रोमाइज करना पड़ता है to meet that budget?
तो वो तो वैसे एक ट्रेड सीक्रेट है कि क्या कॉम्प्रोमाइज करना पड़ता है.
कुछ सीक्रेट निकाल लेती है
ऑफ कैमरा.
हाँ, बट मैंने पहले भी कहा है, हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है क्लेम. जब हम एक बार क्लेम और सेगमेंट को समझ लेते हैं कि हम किसके लिए बना रहे हैं, क्या बना रहे हैं, तो उस दायरे के अंदर रह के हम बना लेते हैं.
आप बता नहीं रहे हो ट्रेड सीक्रेट.
जैसे
मैंने ऑडियंस को प्रॉमिस किया है कि आज बिहाइंड द सीन्स की ट्रेड सीक्रेट मिलेंगी, पर आप बता ही नहीं रहे हो.
जैसे आई टोटली बिलीव व्हाट डजंट किल अस मेक्स अस स्ट्रॉन्गर. एंड आई थिंक एक प्रोडक्ट को ऑप्टिमाइज कॉस्ट ही नहीं, रॉक बॉटम कॉस्ट पे बनाना एक सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है. एक इफेक्टिव प्रोडक्ट को विद इफेक्टिव सेंसरी, विद ग्रेट सेंसरी, बिकॉज कंज्यूमर को क्या चाहिए? उसको तो सब कुछ चाहिए. उसको अच्छा सेंसरी चाहिए, अच्छा फ्रेग्रेंस चाहिए, क्विक रिजल्ट चाहिए. सो
एंड सस्ता चाहिए,
वेरी अफोर्डेबल, राइट? सो मैं ये नहीं कहूँगी कि हमारे लिए कॉम्प्रोमाइज होता है. आई थिंक हमारे लिए गाइडिंग डायरेक्शन होती है कि हम जो क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, अगर हमारा फोकस इज ऑन सेंसरी, सो वी विल वर्क विद गुड टेक्सचर्स, बिकॉज पहला एक्सपीरियंस इज योर एप्लीकेशन। पहले आपने देखा पैकेजिंग बहुत अच्छी है, आपने उठाया, आपने उसको पंप किया, आपने उसको हाथ पे लगाया, एकदम अब्जॉर्ब हो गया, आप कह रहे हो वाओ, फिर इंस्टेंट रिएक्शंस टू स्मेल इट, राइट। अगर 1 2 3 पे आप सोल्ड आउट हैं तो आप सोल्ड आउट हैं। उसके बाद इट्स ओनली ओवर टाइम दैट आप ये रियलाइज करते हैं कि यार ये मेरे को अच्छा लगा या नहीं लगा, इसने मेरे लिए कुछ किया या नहीं किया। तो मैं नहीं कहूँगी कि कॉस्ट इज अ चैलेंज। कॉस्ट वहाँ चैलेंज है जहाँ आप कह रहे हैं कि मुझे एक हेयर ग्रोथ का क्लेम भी चाहिए मगर मैं पैसे भी इतने नहीं दे सकती। तो वहाँ पे जो आपके इंग्रेडिएंट बैलेंस है वो मुश्किल हो जाता है, क्योंकि वो एक प्रूवन लेवल पे ही जाने चाहिए, तो उनकी डोसेज मुश्किल हो जाती है। सो डिपेंड करता है कि हम क्या बना रहे हैं, क्यों बना रहे हैं। इसलिए आई लाइक टू रिपीट, वी वर्क बैकवर्ड फ्रॉम क्लेम, नॉट फॉरवर्ड फ्रॉम द इंग्रेडिएंट रिक्वायर्ड। सो अक्सर ये ट्रेड ऑफ ब्रांड्स को समझाना पड़ता है कि अगर आप हेयर ग्रोथ का क्लेम लेंगे, क्योंकि सारे रॉ मटेरियल की नॉलेज ब्रांड्स को भी है, ममता को भी है, सारे रॉ मटेरियल की नॉलेज। तो जैसे आ जाएगा रिडेंसिल डाल दीजिए, अब रिडेंसिल 3% से नीचे काम नहीं करता है, और रिडेंसिल एक एक्सपेंसिव इंग्रेडिएंट है, वो अपने आप में ही 3% में फॉर्मुलेशन कॉस्ट को बहुत हाई कर देता है। तो जब तक उसका 3% का डोज नहीं होगा आप हेयर ग्रोथ का क्लेम नहीं ले सकते। सो अक्सर हम एक कोलैबोरेटिव वे में ब्रांड को समझाते हैं, और फिर या तो पैकेजिंग पे, लाइक ममता सेड, पैकेजिंग पे कॉम्प्रोमाइज होता है, या फिर हम थोड़ी स्टोरी टेलिंग डिफरेंट करते हैं।
एंड सबसे वाहियात कॉस्टिंग क्या मांगी है कोई ब्रांड ने फॉर अ विटामिन सी सीरम? कितनी?
10 रुपए
10 रुपए में विटामिन सी सीरम,
30 ml
30 ml with 20% vitamin C and 10 रुपए।
10 रुपए।
Suddenly I feel that your job is harder than mine.
No, trust me.
And आपने बोला 3% से कम Redensil doesn't work. So can you tell us for some more popular ingredients जो इंडिया में available हैं, what's the minimum percentage dosage? Like
Vinita,
you know,
honestly,
niacinamide, retinol, vitamin C, इन सबका बताइए ना।
सबकी अलग अलग है।
हाँ बताइए।
So Redensil जैसे एक ट्रेड नेम है, it's from Givaudan, and Redensil पे स्टडीज है। So niacinamide की ऐसी कोई established स्टडीज नहीं है, but ideally it can go in a formula from 0.5 to up till 10% also, depending हम क्या अट्रैक्ट करना चाह रहे हैं।
बट अगर हमें रियली द ब्राइटनिंग बेनिफिट्स जो चाहिए नाइसिनामाइड के, तो कितना परसेंट होना चाहिए?
4 to 5%।
अगर हम अकेला सिनेमाइड यूज कर रहे हैं, अगर हम उसमें अल्फा ऑर्ब्यूटिन या उसमें हम कोई और फॉर्म ऑफ विटामिन सी ब्लेंड कर रहे हैं, तो नियासिनामाइड का परसेंटेज भी कम हो सकता है।
सो अगर 4 to 5% नाइसिनामाइड है तो मतलब अपना 3rd या 4th इंग्रेडिएंट होना चाहिए इन द बैक ऑफ द पैक लिस्टेड में एटलीस्ट। एंड हाइलुरोनिक एसिड 1%।
डिपेंड करता है आप कौन सा हाइलुरोनिक एसिड यूज कर रहे हैं।
लो मॉलिक्यूल।
लो मॉलिक्यूल तो 1% बहुत हाई है।
बहुत हाई।
हाँ. And plus, hyaluronic acid also requires a lot of support. It's that friend who just can't go on any solo trips.
Oh.
Yes, it's that friend
And
who
best
hates solo
partners
trips.
क्या है hyaluronic acid के?
That I'd ask Sandhya to.
So hyaluronic acid usually is a water soluble ingredient. So glycerin में भी चल जाता है, and emulsion base में भी चल जाता है. So I think hyaluronic is quite a versatile, friendly. ऐसा कोई
And salicylic and vitamin C?
salicylic vitamin C also. Salicylic के दोनों फॉर्म आते हैं, ऑयल सॉल्युबल भी आता है, वाटर सॉल्युबल भी
what
आता है।
percentage should I at least?
So again 0.5 से लेके अगर हम जिंक PCA के साथ कंबाइन कर रहे हैं, अब आप मैं सारी ट्रेड सीक्रेट दे दूं।
हाँ दे दीजिए, एग्जाम पैक पे तो डालनी पड़ती है।
परसेंटेजेस तो नहीं।
2%. 0.5 to 2%.
0.5 to 2%.
At least
क्योंकि
for
उसका
topical
लिमिट भी है
application.
2%।
And retinol इंडिया के लिए what would you
So
recommend? What
retinol
percentage? And
बहुत अलग।
retinoid, retinol,
हाँ।
retinaldehyde क्या recommend
हाँ,
करेंगे?
so ये 0.1% से स्टार्ट होता है and can go up to 1%, but इसमें भी बहुत ग्रेड्स हैं, so ये डिफर करता है कि आप किस बेस में कितने ग्रेड में।
What will you recommend
कौन सा?
to a 35-year-old woman? Because अभी जितनी मैंने डर्मेटोलॉजिस्ट से शुगर कोटेड में बात की है, सबने बोला है सबका फेवरेट मॉलिक्यूल है रेटिनॉल।
आजकल
So आजकल नहीं, रेटिनॉल तो 2 डेकेड से काफी
पॉपुलर हो जाए।
हाँ. तो अगर लाइक मैं किसी को बोलूँ कि तुम्हें और कुछ नहीं यूज करना है, once you're in your 30s 40s just रेटिनॉल, तो कौन सा फॉर्म एंड कितना परसेंटेज?
So I think retinol at can start at 0.1%, but ये again individually बहुत depend करता है because retinol reacts also और बहुत जल्दी degenerate भी होता है
Correct.
in a formula. So अकेला retinol नहीं use होता है. There are other excipients that we use with it, but can start from 0.1% at 30-35 and can increase the dose. So actually retinol is a progressive use. वो आप पहले 0.1 से start करेंगे formula, फिर progress to the next level, and as you get accustomed to using retinol, you should. So ideally brands single product retinol बेचते हैं. There are some international brands who've done this very smartly, and they progress you to on how you literally acclimatize yourself to how you grow on using your.
I'm asking for Sandhya
for-
because I'm just assuming that people believe that what you apply is like the best. It's working also.
What I apply is pure simple glycerin.
Oh,
That works well.
All right, then that's the answer. Sandhya is now turning 50.
50 on camera.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm not allowed to say that.
Yes, yes.
No,
Of course,
because you're an
very
inspiration.
proud. Yeah, very,
you're
very
like,
proud. Turning 50, yes, soon.
And looking like a 30-year-old.
Thank you. But yes, it is the magic of some very basic ingredients. I think age-old ingredients work really the best even today. And like I said, lifestyle matters a lot.
So since we spoke about botanical extracts, so what is of your opinion on clean beauty? Is it genuinely better or अब लोग बोल रहे हैं उसको green washing? So do you think it's green washing?
मुझे लगता है नींबू की शक्ति के दिन खत्म होने वाले हैं.
खत्म होने वाले हैं. खत्म हो गए.
क्योंकि yeah, I
Nimbu
think
is getting replaced with acids.
Nimbu is getting replaced with acids, and I also feel that consumers getting more aware, like you said, that अगर इतना natural ingredient effective है, then go use the natural ingredient directly. But also consumer को confuse का करता है back panel. See, जब आप एक back panel पे बड़ा heavy name पढ़ते हैं, for example कोकोअमीडो प्रोपाइल बीटेन, राइट? अब कंज्यूमर के लिए यार कह तो रहे नेचुरल है,
पर
ये क्या है? ये तो एक बड़ा केमिकल, बड़ा लंबा नाम है, इसको तो मुझे ही सीखने में टाइम लग गया था. सो कंज्यूमर को नहीं पता इसका सोर्स नेचुरल है, राइट? सो बहुत थिन लाइन है बिटवीन व्हाट कंज्यूमर बिलीव्स इज नेचुरल एंड बिटवीन रियली व्हाट इज नेचुरल. सो यस, देयर हैज बीन a lot of greenwashing, but there are some truly natural products out there. But if you ask me if anything's 100% natural, no. I mean, especially emulsions. We're working with emulsifiers. I mean, emulsion is वो एक तेल और पानी का मिश्रण है, right? और तेल और पानी को मिक्स करने के लिए emulsifiers डालने पड़ते हैं, जिससे वो क्रीम का टेक्सचर बन जाता है. तो वो जो इमल्सिफायर है वो नेचुरली सोर्स हो सकता है, बट क्या वो अपने आप में 100% नेचुरल है? नहीं, वो नहीं है. सो रिस्पॉन्सिबली यूज किया हुआ इंग्रेडिएंट लिस्ट इज गुड, बट मार्केटिंग के लिए यूज किया हुआ इंग्रेडिएंट लिस्ट इज ग्रीन वॉशिंग. एंड लाइक आई सेड, नींबू की शक्ति के दिन मुझे अब थोड़े कम लग रहे हैं.
Mamta, do you want to say anything to people who are looking for natural products?
I think natural as a concept just doesn't work because without any preservative, just natural ingredient is me creating something which will get moldy in the washroom at 40 degrees. So if I'm keeping the product in the bathroom and
तो अगर हम आइसलैंड में रह रहे होते तो फिर भी ठीक था नेचुरल प्रोडक्ट बेचना, बट इंडिया में बहुत ही अनलाइकली है.
but heat humidity is a very important thing for stability to just get disrupted. So preservatives are important and it's not a bad thing. So 100% I think because it's a very it's a term which was coined to start with safety, but now it's loosely used ki acha theek hai, everything clean is equal to natural. But I think whatever is in a safe formula ingredient, it should work rather than just going with all natural without any preservatives, and preservatives are bad. So I think that is very important because preservatives in a product make or break the overall composition.
Absolutely.
And talking about preservatives, like ऐसे कौन से ingredients हैं जो think आपको लगता है कि जिनको बदनाम कर दिया है marketing ने, पर जो you want to bring back to really being a part of formulations?
Sulfates.
sulfates.
as far as I'm concerned.
So you
I
don't
think
think
जो cleansing-
sulfates are harmful?
Not all sulfates are harmful. And as far as cleansing is concerned, जितनी अच्छी cleansing sulfate से आती है,
आप SLS की बात कर रहे हो SLES?
SLES.
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 Okay.
SLES.
So SLS is still you consider harmful.
Yeah, yes.
SLES is
और भी
बदनाम.
बहुत सारे forms हैं sulfates के
Hmm.
जो बहुत अच्छी cleansing देते हैं and are not really harmful. मेरे हिसाब से also alcohol.
Only if you have dry skin, you should be very scared of it.
और
Otherwise,
कितने
everybody's-
dose में? So alcohol works like magic in sensory,
Yeah, true.
especially in sunscreens.
True.
Sunscreen में oil load बहुत होता है.
Lot of makeup products
Lot of
also.
makeup products, yeah.
Yes.
So alcohol and some silicones.
Hmm.
I think silicones again makeup में तो जाते ही जाते हैं,
Yeah.
but
I was actually about to say silicons only because makeup के लिए it's very important. It's ऐसे बोला जाता है कि अच्छा ठीक है सिलिकन्स है तो वो पोर क्लॉगिंग होगा एक्सेट्रा, बट अगर वो राइट कॉन्सेंट्रेशन में यूज किया जाए तो देन इट हैज दैट ब्यूटिफुल स्लिप टू द प्रोडक्ट. एनीथिंग दैट इज इजी टू ब्लेंड काफी इजीली ब्लेंड करता है. एंड कोई भी प्रोडक्ट हो अगर आपको लॉन्ग लास्टिंग बनाना है तो देर इज ऑफकोर्स अल्कोहल, बट उसके अलावा सिलिकन्स मेक और ब्रेक लाइक द फॉर्मूला का वेयर. तो इफ आई वांट अ फुल डे वेयर फ्रॉम अ प्रोडक्ट, सिलिकन्स आर good to use. Apart from that, I think preservatives मैंने already बोले हैं because preservatives not everything is like old school parabens. जरूरी नहीं है कि सब चीज खराब है. I think one more
So
is
you are saying that even parabens बदनाम है फालतू में?
yes. There are different forms.
सबसे strong
Preservative
preservative
है
है broad spectrum.
Hmm.
हर condition में
और इसको brands ने बदनाम किया है basically parabens को.
it's believed so.
Hmm.
ऐसा क्योंकि कितना ही डोज जाता है पैराबेन का.
बहुत
So you're saying जो dose जाता है उससे actually endocrine disruption, cancer ये
And
सब
they're
नहीं
not banned
होता
by
है.
FDA.
Hmm.
So even if today we formulate with parabens and we apply for the FDA licenses, it's never a question.
Hmm.
कि
But parabens तो globally बदनाम है. Like probably silicon alcohol is more an India thing, but parabens
But
is globally.
anything that's used in optimized dosage
Hmm.
actually is nothing bad.
Hmm.
बट क्योंकि अब वो बदनाम है और ब्रांड्स को नहीं चाहिए होता तो उनके ऑल्टरनेट्स हैं जो एक्सपेंसिव हैं. तो वो
अब
use
तो
होते
वैसे
हैं.
खैर सब मोस्टली पैराबेन से मूव होके
Yeah.
फिनॉक्सीएथानॉल यूज करते हैं.
Phenoxy है, बहुत सारे हैं अब तो.
तो
And
दे आर मोर माइल्डर एंड दे आर बेटर एंड अब तक वो बदनाम नहीं हुआ है एज जस्ट लाइक पैराबेन्स. तो वो
हो रहे हैं, वो
ज्यादातर
भी
यूज
धीरे-धीरे
करते
हो
हैं.
रहे हैं.
Cetriol alcohol हो गया है, but
हाँ.
not
Right.
phenoxy.
नहीं, another very
Yes, another
versatile.
very versatile ingredient.
Yeah.
So usually mineral oil is उनके लोगों को लगता है कि oh my god it's a problem, but mineral oil again at the right dosage will be great moisturizing product.
Or you remember your Johnson baby oil was 99% mineral oil. We all grew
But
up on it.
बहुत ज़्यादा बदनाम हो गया.
वो तो बाद में हुआ ना. But and I don't think that too over mineral oil.
No.
Theirs was more of a talc.
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 That's talc.
Yeah, talc
Okay,
issue.
That's powder.
Mineral oil, so I
But-
still see most of your legacy brands.
Are using.
Our
Still
base oil is
mineral oil.
Mineral oil, then 90%.
So you would use mineral oil on your babies.
I think yeah.
No, that's helpful for the audience to understand. And talking about silicons, तो जब आप inclusive shades बनाने की try करते हो तो क्या challenges आते हैं and how do you make sure that Indian diversity of skin tones के लिए product work करे and वो product जार में जो दिख रहा है और चेहरे पे दिख रहा है वो अलग ना दिखे?
So inclusivity is again a very important term. Inclusivity doesn't mean कि मेरे पास 30-40 shades हैं and मैं
Oh, it
inclusive हूँ.
doesn't?
No, it doesn't.
सभी के लिए कुछ
Yes, because usually लोगों को लगता है कि inclusive मतलब कि मैंने अगर लाइट टू डार्क एक बेज की फैमिली बना दी है फ्रॉम फेयर टू डीप ब्लैंकेट, मेरे पास 40 कलर्स है और मैं इंक्लूसिव हूँ. बट व्हाट इज इम्पोर्टेंट इज द अंडरटोन, बिकॉज while हम सब similar shade family में है, but what is the color underneath our skin is something that's important. So that color for you and me, like there can be same shade users and आपका undertone can be golden versus my undertone can be neutral. तो same product अगर हम लगाएंगे तो आप पे शायद मैच करे, मुझ पे ashy लगे या मुझ पे orange लगे, because हमारा undertone मैच नहीं करता. तो the number of shades doesn't definitely determine inclusivity. The actual undertone depth working by the brand does make or break how inclusive you are for the color offering that you're having. And what consumers also do not get is the shade formulation. The fundamental problem when it comes to developing base color, जहाँ पे हम inclusivity की बात करते हैं, वो है pigment load. तो अगर आप fair या light consumers के लिए बना रहे हो, तो आपका pigment load usually 5 से 8% तक का होता है, या upwards depending on आप कौन से spectrum के लिए बना रहे हो. वर्सेस जब आप डीपर कॉम्प्लेक्शन के लिए बनाते हो तो पिगमेंट लोड 2 to 3x हो जाता है. तो दैट मीन्स द सेम पिगमेंट, अब पिगमेंट जब आप डालते हो that results into how well your product is blending, like the color dispersion that happens. तो lighter skin के लिए कभी वो streaky, patchy problem नहीं होता है because the pigment load is lesser. Now same family में when we're doing a deeper, medium to deeper complexion, the pigment load goes upwards of 12 to 25% depending on again medium to deeper complexion. तो जितना ज़्यादा pigment उतना ज़्यादा of course formula thick होता है, dispersion में problem होती है, blendability is at question. So to balance that out, अगर मैं एक रेंज बना रही हूँ तो अब मेरा प्रोडक्ट जो शेड 7 के लिए परफॉर्म करेगा वर्सेस जो शेड 60 के लिए परफॉर्म करेगा should feel the same. So the
7 being the lightest and
7
60
being the
dark.
lightest and 60 being towards like the deeper end of the spectrum. अब deeper end वाले के लिए भी हमें उतना ही केयर करना है because उनको भी वो प्रोडक्ट लगाने पे सेम फील होना चाहिए. तो कॉस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द पिगमेंट लोड गोज हाई बिकॉज बट मैं कंज्यूमर को सेम रेंज के लिए ज़्यादा नहीं चार्ज कर सकती हूँ बिकॉज आई एम यूजिंग 2 to 3x मोर पिगमेंट. प्लस द अमाउंट ऑफ लाइक R&D that goes into developing that colors is also high because till the time you ensure that the pigment is finely milled to perform the same as that of the lightest shade, you have to do like more 20-30 sets of trials जब तक आप उसे मैच नहीं करते हो. तो every time you do a trial आप वापस से blend करते हो, वापस से check करते हो. तो the R&D time, investment etc. is much larger, but that's also a very important factor to determine कि ये color and like properly blend हो, patchy ना हो, plus आपका formula same feel करे for the deeper end of the spectrum to the lighter end of the spectrum. Now here also is कि आप color pigment balancing कैसे करते हो because at the end of the day आप work किसके साथ कर रहे हो, आप TiO2 and iron oxides के साथ काम कर रहे हो. तो आप for
TiO2 titanium dioxide.
तो जब आप fair light shades बना रहे हो so you're working with a white base जिसमें आपका marginal addition है of like red and yellow oxides and you keep on adding black थोड़ा to add depth जैसे आपका color बढ़ता है from light to dark. Versus medium में आपका composition change हो जाता है जहाँ पे white base निकल जाता है but you're more working with your primary ingredient then becomes the yellow and red oxides. And then black and brown oxides are the supporting ingredients to make that medium tone. Then when you work towards the end of the spectrum, which is the deeper shades, the balance now is led by your brown and black oxides with addition of red and yellow oxides to add that pigment, वरना वो grey लगेगा if you're just working with black and white. So there is a lot of like research and color work that happens when you're doing like 20-30 shades of foundation. And like our larger audience sits in the medium complexion. In India, if you were to see like light medium to medium deep, you do have fair and deeper people, but the larger geography falls under that. So when you see, I can refer to our shades. In the product range of 22 colors that we built, we have built across the undertones that are yellow, warm, golden, peach, neutral, across, and also olive. So that is, can we do more? Definitely. I think we can keep on like adding that, but there's a lot of thought that goes under developing these colors.
So you start with कि कहाँ कौन सी cohorts में कौन सी combination of tone and undertone की cohort में ज़्यादा population है and like prioritize those.
Yes.
But you are saying that same range of foundation में जो lighter है versus जो मेरा तुम्हारा color के foundation है वो बनाना ज़्यादा महंगा है, ज़्यादा complex है, SPF, titanium dioxide don't behave properly, white cast आने के chances होते हैं, तो complexity of the formulation and the cost goes up, which is why it is important to spend much more time in creating the right colors for our skin tones.
Definitely. And when it comes to color trueness, right?
Yeah.
जो आपने पूछा कि bottle में जो product दिखता है versus जो आप लगाते हो, वो भी बहुत important हो जाता है, because when it is used on a melanin rich complexion, your melanin rich pigments, your skin, you know, also reacts to those pigments wherein oxidization का risk होता है. So how the product post formulation will work on a high concentration melanin complexion will change on how your fair complexion works. So whenever you're doing trials, it's important that आप कौन सा किस तरीके का pigment use करते हो. It can't be any like cheap pigment. Your pigment has to be like, you know, coated pigments that are of good grade quality, has the potential to be then further finely milled, developed, and then blended into a formulation that you're testing again in different lighting conditions. Because that pigment, if it's changing color, if you were to check in a spectrophotometer, then that's going to change the overall formulation. The key here is on how the product looks in the first 8 minutes of application to the 8th hour of application is what we focus on while we're doing trials. That how the product color is when I'm wearing the product at 8 in the morning to 8 in the night, how, you know, much of an extensive oxidization happens. All of that has to be incorporated in the R&D, because, and in different lighting conditions like indoor light, outdoor light, natural light, artificial light, all of that does matter on how your color output changes. And because pigment high hota hai, so that pigment starts reacting to your skin. Now ab subha maine lagaya, my color is perfectly matched, and after 4-5 hours I'm suddenly become orange. So that does make a lot of difference. So all of that changes on how and what kind of pigments you're using, what is the supporting ingredients that are working with the pigments, is the pigment quality changing post composition as well as reacting to the conditions and post application. Because lab में जो बन रहा है versus skin पे जो apply हो रहा है, it's a very different thing. It's from theory to then practical. So theory में everything is ticking the box, and when it's reacting to your sebum, oil, etc., that's when it's the
because
real
the oil
test.
is reacting with the oxygen, that's why it's oxidizing.
Yes.
So how does a consumer, layman में थोड़ा सा एक line में अगर बताइए कि मैं कैसे prevent करूँ oxidation?
वो actually consumer भी prevent कर सकता है, वो तो formula ही prevent
So
करना होगा.
if I buy a formula that doesn't oxidize, I don't have to worry about
Yes.
oxidation.
You have to look if the product is claiming that it gets oxidized. It's very important for brands to mention that the product oxidizes and up to what shades, because certain times product formulation will call for certain change of color over the period of time. अब वो आपके लिए क्या important है? Oxidation important है या formula efficacy important है? अगर आप formula efficacy के साथ जाते हो तो brands need to usually communicate that it oxidizes up to a shade. So then the consumer is already aware that I have to buy a shade lighter because that oxidizes, and the oxidization happens in the first few minutes to hour. So then you need to know that the formula then changes. But there is nothing that a consumer can do if the formula does oxidize.
They'll probably get to know over time.
Yes.
On their usage.
And Vedic is probably one of the only companies जिसने venture capital raise किया है. Welcome to the dark side. तो how did this decision come about? और आपको लग रहा है कि इंडिया में trend change हो रहा है of more companies getting into manufacturing, make in India, raising capital, and do you think it's an, you know, VC friendly category?
So I don't think Vedic is the only manufacturer. There are more.
Okay.
The inspiration was really from there. But Today, manufacturers are seen as a strategic advantage and not a back-end support. And Make in India, of course, is a loud noise. So there is scope. There is a lot of interest being generated in the manufacturing space. So clearly, more manufacturers are going for it, and more VCs are open to funding manufacturing ventures because industry तो grow कर ही रही है, right?
आपने बोला ना कि सफदरजंग हॉस्पिटल में जैसे बेबीज पैदा हो रहे हैं, ब्रांड्स पैदा हो रहे हैं.
मैं आपको बता, हमारे यहाँ वॉक इन होता है.
वॉक इन आ जाते हैं कि हमारे प्रोडक्ट बनाओ.
हाँ जी, बाय द आवर. तो हमेशा बोलती हूँ जैसे सफदरजंग में बच्चे पैदा हो रहे हैं, ऐसे ब्रांड्स पैदा होते हैं. But obviously,
और आके फिर बोलते हैं हमें ये वाला मिक्स करके.
So shop and deploy from manufacturers has become a very important thing. Not only just new brands, but legacy brands also. They walk in, and coming back to manufacturing, हम आज खाली मैन्युफैक्चरिंग नहीं करते. हमारी कॉन्वर्सेशन डेवलपमेंट स्टेज, कॉन्सेप्ट स्टेज से स्टार्ट होती है. हम वैदिक के लिए टैगलाइन यूज करते हैं, आइडिया टू शेल्फ. हम आपके साथ आइडिया स्टेज पे पार्टनर करते हैं. सो हम खाली मैन्युफैक्चर नहीं है. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग तो हमारे लिए 5 दिन का काम होता है. द लार्जर पार्ट एंड द लार्जर एंगेजमेंट स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम योर कॉन्सेप्ट स्टेज, जहाँ से हम आपके साथ आइडिएशन शुरू करते हैं. सो ब्रांड्स यूजुअली हमें एक ब्रीफ देते हैं और हम उस ब्रीफ को प्रोडक्ट में कैसे कन्वर्ट करते हैं, एक स्टेबल प्रोडक्ट में कैसे कन्वर्ट करते हैं, एक मार्केटेबल प्रोडक्ट में कैसे कन्वर्ट करते हैं, कमर्शियली स्मार्ट प्रोडक्ट में कैसे कन्वर्ट करते हैं, ब्रांड के एस्थेटिक्स और ब्रांड का प्रॉमिस उसमें कैसे वीव करते हैं. वो हमारा एक लार्जर पार्ट ऑफ पार्टनरशिप है. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग तो आइडियली 5 दिन का काम है, ख़त्म हो जाता है. सो फ्रॉम अ VC लेंस, yes, there is a lot of interest, and हमारे साथ ही बहुत conversations होती हैं. We have a lot more VCs who've reached out and want to know what's happening in this space more and more. And I personally feel कि India is now ready to service the world. हमारे पास access to सारे raw materials हैं. आज आपके जितने भी popular international raw materials हैं, उनके distributors India में available हैं. हाँ, हमें अपनी गेम इम्प्रूव कहाँ करनी है? रेगुलेटरी में, कंप्लायंसेस में. अगर हम अपने यूनिट को कंप्लायंट बना लेते हैं तो हमारे लिए वर्ल्ड इज द अपॉर्चुनिटी. हम खाली इंडियन ब्रांड्स को सर्विस नहीं कर रहे हैं. सो एट वैदिक वी आर नाउ सर्विसिंग ऑस्ट्रेलिया, वी आर वर्किंग विद रशिया, वी आर वर्किंग विद दुबई, एंड ऑब्वियसली हमारे को अपने कंप्लायंसेस अपग्रेड करने पड़े. बहुत ही कम इंडियन ब्रांड्स हैं जो सोशल कंप्लायंसेस पे ध्यान देते हैं. सो यू नो, विद फंडिंग,
सस्टेनेबिलिटी,
social compliances is your manpower, your HR, how you keep safety standards, how you maintain quality of people, how you maintain your not just product quality. So we have social audits happening to make sure that is everything from the HR lens in place. It's how is there equality, how are we taking care of our blue collar workers. So you know, I think ये एक बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट पीस बन गया है मैन्युफैक्चरर्स के लिए कि हम एक प्रोडक्ट कॉन्सेप्ट स्टेज से काम शुरू करते हैं, एंड वी आर योर स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनर टिल द एंड. सो आई थिंक बिकॉज ऑफ दैट VC interest is there, and because this being compliant also is an expense. So I think manufacturers are looking at expansions, looking to set up good units. Having a compliant, good, clean unit is absolutely crucial if you want to get up for the international world.
So you're saying that before Indian brands become global, there is a very good chance that made in India products will be global. So global brands will be carrying products that are made in India now because of the kind of investment that's happening now in manufacturing in India.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think we already are doing that. So brands global देर में गए हैं, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ग्लोबल हो चुकी है. सो आपके काफ़ी अच्छे ब्रांड्स अब इंडिया से मैन्युफैक्चर हो रहे हैं, एंड बीइंग कंसिडर्ड एज एन alternate choice to China also, especially with the raw material. And khali finished good manufacturing nahi. What's interesting is raw material manufacturing seeing a growth in India. Because
which raw materials are doing well in India?
UV filters. UV filters हैं जो आपके imported हैं, and because sunscreen as a category has grown. बहुत सारे हैं आज. Your niacinamide है, hyaluronic acids being produced locally, which were all imported earlier. Combination of molecules जो आपको hydration का claim दे सकते हैं, जो पहले बाहर से import हो रहे थे, slowly and steadily the manufacturing is happening locally, which gives us the advantage in supply chain. Because थोड़ा tricky होता है that जब brand कोई नया product launch करता है, batch sizes are now much smaller because everybody wants to see how the product is going to perform. So small batch size के लिए small procurement करना is challenging. So we also prefer to work with local partners now than to buy a raw material in a big bag, bulk, and then sit with it. It's inventory blocking. So price point advantage मिलता है local suppliers के साथ काम करने के लिए, lead time advantage मिलता है local suppliers. So I think manufacturing is a strategic advantage today, and not just back-end support.
Alright, finally, I want to ask both of you कि आपकी advice क्या होगी to young founders जो अपना beauty brand launch करना चाहते हैं?
So I think witnessing the industry over the past few years, my first advice to any founder is that invest in formulation. Take the product very seriously, as I think that would be a foundation for a strong business, strong brand, when product repeatability happens. The other thing is choose your manufacturing partners wisely and play a long-term game. There has been a lot of, I would say, mismanagement of suppliers across the chain. I'm not going to say just FG manufacturers. There have been false promises, payment defaults. So unless you know your long-term game, I think choose very wisely and step in, knowing that how you're going to sustain. It is a very hyper-competitive market, and like I said, choose wisely how you're going to play your long-term game here.
So आपके साथ ऐसा हुआ है कि some brands have defaulted on payments, उन्होंने funding उठाई, बहुत सारा inventory खरीदा, फिर पैसे नहीं दिए?
Of course. और brands यही नहीं करते कि पैसे नहीं देते, वो swiftly business किसी और vendor के यहाँ shift कर लेते हैं, आपका payment default करके. And बहुत सारे brands को फर्क नहीं पड़ता है कि manufacturing setup कैसा है. Today, there are many small-scale manufacturers, hardly regulated, with probably zero compliances. पर क्योंकि वो एक price advantage दे पाते हैं, तो brands are shifting. Product की integrity is question mark. Scale की integrity is question mark. क्योंकि आज आप छोटे से launch कर लीजिए, अभी scaling is also another challenge. तो ऐसा है. Sorry to say, it's seeming like a common practice now, which has really not been a pleasant experience in the past few years. Brands ने funds raise किए हैं, and payment defaults किए हैं, and unreasonable demands बहुत किए हैं.
And it impacts the whole ecosystem because then manufacturers have no option but कि advance में payment दो.
Exactly.
All of those very stringent terms to compensate.
Exactly. अब हम काम ही नहीं करना चाहते हैं without advance. Credit periods, and also further impacts how we pay ahead to the vendors. So अब आपके raw material, packaging material vendors बिना advance के काम करना ही नहीं चाहते. जैसे ही आप बोलते हैं आप एक particular brand के लिए खरीद रहे हो, वो कहते हैं या तो supply नहीं देंगे. So be mindful about your own reputation.
So building a brand is a patience game. So think long term.
Think long
Don't be very
term.
short term, shortcut oriented.
Absolutely. आप देख रहे हैं कितना hyper competitive है. I mean, आप इस market में sustain कर रहे हैं. It's a very difficult spot to be in. और रोज, like I said, brands आ रहे हैं घंटे के हिसाब से.
Mamta.
I was about to say that आप मेकअप में बिल्ड कर रहे हो या स्किन केयर में, आई थिंक द स्किन डज रिमेंबर शॉर्टकट्स. सो एंड ये शॉर्टकट का बिल बाद में जब आता है वो बहुत लंबा होता है. तो आई थिंक बिल्ड स्लोअर एंड बिल्ड बेटर, invest in R&D. I think a lot of stability, compatibility, claim substantiation, all of that results to something that's getting the product out with good performance, and that's going to of course come back.
So you don't
from-
agree with beauty becoming a fast fashion game. You want beauty to be a slow and efficacious game.
At least build with thought. It's very important that what you're putting out is showing the results that you're claiming.
Amazing. This was super fun. I learned a lot. And just finally, we have a little bit of a game. You have a red flag and a green flag, and main terms जो बहुत ज़्यादा products and social media influencers के content में जो terms दिखते हैं वो बोलूँगी, और आपको उठाना है whether you think this is pure marketing and complete garbage or it is real science and actually makes sense. All right?
Got it.
ठीक है तो and I think I'll be most curious अगर आप दोनों के आंसर जब मैच तो देखना मतलब आंसर वहाँ पे देखिए. All right, so first one, clinically proven.
Clinically proven.
Clinically proven.
का
My
कोई
question
मतलब
is,
ही नहीं है.
कोई मतलब ही नहीं है. How? What?
I agree
Where?
with Sandhya on this.
किसने किया?
किसने हाँ
Did I
कोई भी
understand?
लिख देता
Did
है.
I think I understood the question wrong. Clinically proven without
Any
without any specific
Ah.
information.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, ठीक है. You have a convert.
Yes.
All right. Dermatologically tested. Okay. So proper dermatology test होती है product की.
Yes.
Right.
Assessment.
Okay. SPF 50 all day protection. Problem is with all day.
Yes.
Problem could
nothing
also
is-
be with SPF 50.
SPF 50.
Acha, it could be pure marketing, but after 10 Jan it won't be. All right.
But
hopefully.
also after 10th Jan, like how does a consumer, the one is you have to check, because there can be like a lot of defaulters there also where you don't have compliance being met, but the product is still sold.
It's getting
Yeah.
sold.
Yes.
We'll hope the FDA will catch them. All right. Chemical free. Okay. Suitable for all skin types. Sadhya was divided.
Yeah.
कुछ
I
कुछ
was.
प्रोडक्ट होते हैं जो-
हाँ, कुछ होते हैं बट टेस्टेड नहीं होते हैं. आपने ऑल स्किन टाइप्स पे टेस्ट नहीं किया है. It's a broad claim.
Hmm.
It's
So
a soft claim.
don't take it seriously.
Don't take it
Got
seriously.
Non-comedogenic.
If it's tested, yes.
If it's tested, so actually comedogenic ingredients होते हैं. अगर
Ingredients.
नहीं डले हैं,
So it can
तो-
be.
But brands ये seriously करती हैं testing and
बट
reporting.
comedogenic टेस्टिंग सिर्फ इंग्रेडिएंट लिस्ट से हो जाती है ना, कि कुछ इंग्रेडिएंट्स ऐसे होते हैं जो पोर ब्लॉकिंग होते हैं, जो comedogenic होते हैं. अगर आपने वो डाले ही नहीं है,
So you
So-
can do
So
it without
अगर
the claim.
non-comedogenic लिखा है तो I can be assured that कोई भी ingredient ऐसा नहीं होगा जो comedogenic हो.
होना ऐसा ही चाहिए. बट अगर ब्रांड किसने बनाया है और किसने प्रोडक्ट बनाया है उसको नॉलेज है और ये क्लेम ले रहा है, सो टिपिकली इफ अ क्लेम लाइक दैट कम्स टू अस, वी हैव टू वेरीफाई कि हाँ ये द इंग्रेडिएंट लिस्ट जो हमने यूज की है दैट स्टैंड्स ट्रू टू द क्लेम. तो उसको इट्स अ वेरिफिकेशन प्रोसेस. उसके लिए
Yeah.
कोई बहुत लंबा चौड़ा
If it doesn't have any pore
Yeah.
clogging
Ingredients,
ingredients,
then
then
you
you can automatically do it without
Yeah.
test. If there is still a question, then you have to do an additional test.
Okay. Natural actives. No such thing as natural actives. All right. No preservatives. Oh my God.
nothing
do.
is going to last on the shelf. Nothing. No
हमारे ना आपके हाथ में ही आएगा.
नो
वो खराब हो
प्रिजर्वेटिव
जाएगा.
सिर्फ वही है जो एलोवेरा स्टेम अपने घर में काटते हैं उसका जेल
आप
निकाला
उसे
है.
लगा रहे हो.
Clean beauty. Wow. Instant glow from first use. पहले खत्म तो होने दो.
Instant glow.
ठीक है. Only highlighter.
In makeup, yes.
Okay. pH balanced.
Important.
Oxygen infused skincare.
What is
I know, I've never heard of it.
Gold का भाई है वो.
ताजी हवा या पोल्यूटेड हवा?
Polluted ही मिलेगी, कितना भी आप control कर लो.
Waterproof, sweatproof.
If tested, yes.
Fragrance free.
If it
अगर नहीं गया है, fragrance नहीं
if
गया
it
है,
is,
fragrance नहीं गया
it'll
तो-
be a mix
A
of
lot
both.
of serious skincare is now being made completely without any fragrance.
At times, कंज्यूमर के माइंडसेट में अभी ऐसा हो गया एनीथिंग विद फ्रेग्रेंस इज गोइंग टू बी अ प्रॉब्लम. If it's at a dose where it's not impacting sensitive skin as well, it can be added because the certain raw materials will have smell that cannot
Yeah, the base
go
odor.
in. So then for the base odor masking,
Masking.
if it's at a marginal quantity, then it can be used.
100% organic. All right, with that, I think everybody is very clear which sunscreen to buy and which one to stay away from, apart from, of course, all the organic, clean beauty products जो हमें बेचे जा रहे हैं. Thank you so much for this real, honest, black and white conversation. And I really hope that the viewers learnt as much from this as I did. और अगर और कोई सवाल हो तो I have Sandhya and Mamta on speed dial, so please share them in the comments below.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Lovely.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching or for listening. And अगर आपको ये एपिसोड पसंद आया तो आपको वही करना है जो हर पॉडकास्टर आपसे कराता है, which is you have to hit like, subscribe and also a comment so that हमें समझ आए कि आपको क्या पसंद आ रहा है, क्या नहीं पसंद आ रहा है. And if you want us to bring someone on this podcast, any guest that you have in mind or any question that's remained unanswered, please put them in the comments below. I read every single comment down below. So until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and keep building the life that you love, just like I'm doing.